Day, ladies and gentlemen, little sisters and brothers. Looking at the recent change in geopolitical and religious dynamics home and abroad, it would only be prudent to make a pit stop to show you the method of media persuasion Steve Bannon has already told us he will personally teach his new assassins. You know, the same witchcraft and sorceries designed to discombobulate their minds, the scriptures already attest that my God will have to come and change. You remember that. How will I expose something the evildoers obviously tried to hide, you ponder? By asking you to vet a maxi-mini theory we call the Ivy Scribe put your snoots to use theory. In this case to me, we must sniff out the evidence within the information they are willing to give us, and then follow our noses to where that evidence will lead us to figure out this whodunit and what will they do mystery. Let's begin, shall we? First, it would only be prudent to start our case with the liaisons of Lucifer themselves. Saying that, according to Wikipedia under Council for National Policy. I'm going to let the beat rock as much as possible so you can perceive just how much earthly power is behind our enemies. You ready? Quote, the Council for National Policy, the CNP, is an umbrella organization and networking group for social conservative activists in the United States. It has been described by the New York Times as, personal quote, a little-known club of a few hundred of the most powerful conservatives in the country who meet 3 times yearly behind closed doors at undisclosed locations for a confidential conference. The Nation, which is a periodical, has called it a secretive organization that, personal quote, networks wealthy right-wing donors together with top conservative operatives to plan long-term movement strategy. It was founded in 1981 by Tim LaHaye as a forum for conservative Christians. Let me say it again. It was founded in 1981 by Tim LaHaye as a forum for conservative Christians seeking to strengthen the political right in the United States. The CNP describes itself as, personal quote, an educational foundation organized under Section 501c3 of the Internal Revenue Code. Stop. So as you can see right off the rip, by its saying, quote, it was founded in 1981 by Tim LaHaye as a forum for conservative Christians seeking to strengthen the political right in the United States. That can only mean we are talking about the religious equivalent of Bilderberg and Bohemian Grove, with some being members of all 3 cabals. And to think, being a 503c agent, you know, just like the black Hebrew Israelites, they are about to do the unthinkable, thus fulfill end-time prophecy tax-free. What? They are agents. I mean, what did you perceive when it said, quote, networks wealthy right-wing donors together with top conservative operatives to plan long-term movement strategies? To little Miss Ivy and I, to think operatives and agents are not the exact same thing wouldn't be prudent. But let's get back. So let's continue to back up everything I've said thus far. Under meetings and membership, I'm going to let the beat rock so you can perceive how much wicked power my God is preserving you from. Quote, Mark J. Ambinder of ABC News said about the council, this is what he said, personal quote, the group wants to be the conservative version of the Council on Foreign Relations. Listen to this who's who. Members of the CNP have included General John Siller, shipping magnate J. Peter Grace, Edwin J. Furlan, of the Heritage Foundation, Reverend Pat Robertson of the Christian Broadcast Network, Jerry Falwell, U.S. Senator Trent Lott, listen up, Southern Baptist Convention activist and retired Texas Court of Appeals Judge Paul Pressler, lawyer and paleo-conservative activist Michael something with a P, Reverend Paige Patterson, Senator Don Nichols, former U.S. Attorney General Edward Meese and John Ashcroft, gun right activist Larry Pratt, Colonel Oliver North, listen up, Steve Bannon, Kellyanne Conway, philanthropist Elsa Prince, mother of Blackwater founder and former COO Eric Prince and Trump administrators, Secretary of Education Betsy DeVos. They're the brothers. They're brothers and sisters. Yeah, that's a wicked, wow. Yeah, they're brothers and sisters. And former California State Assemblyman Steve Baldwin. CNP also has membership links to the Committee for the Free World, whose many other members include some Republican Party leaders, the counter-revolutionaries in Latin America, yeah, particularly during the 1980s. Other members include Jean Kilpatrick, Irving Kristol, Seymour M. Lisbeth, Donald Rumsfeld, Tom Stoppard, and George Will. Membership is by invitation only. The membership list, previously made public, is now considered, personal quote, strictly confidential. Guests may attend, personal quote, only with the unanimous approval of the executive committee. Members are instructed not to refer to the organization by name to protect against leaks. Listen up. While those involved are almost entirely from the United States, their organizations with an S and influence cover the globe both religiously and politically. Members include corporate executives, legislators, former high-ranking government officers, leaders of think tanks dedicated to molding society, and those whom many view as, personal quote, Christian leadership. Example, chosen ladies and gentlemen of the jury. As you plainly heard, and being chosen, you can clearly perceive we are dealing with an ominous octopus with a political, religious, revolutionary, media commentary, and mercenary military power, all with one goal. Yep, one aim. And that is complete their master's Psalms 83 pledge. And true to form, just like an octopus when it is scared or is on the hunt, they have released their ink and hidden themselves and their actions. This is where we put our snoots to use by following our noses and the evidence provided. In this case to me, the Steve Bannon and Christian Baptist Convention connections. First, the CBC. See, as I told you before, I've been on this malfeasance mystery for quite some time and remember writing way back in 2006 of how this blasphemous beast, religious and military tentacles, were already being put to the plow. If it pleases the court, I would like to read directly from the book. According to the Los Angeles Times, October 18, 2003, quote, Lieutenant General Boykin not only went on a speaking tour to recruit, personal quote, warriors, but prior to the tour, he invited a select group of Southern Baptist pastors to meet him at the John F. Kennedy Special Warfare Center and School at Fort Bragg, North Carolina on April 22nd through 23rd, 2003. According to the promotional material sent out to the group, they would be given unprecedented access to the military base while being recruited. What? While being recruited for the denomination's, personal quote, Super Faith Force Multiplier program. Boykin's invitation was extended in a letter authorized by the Reverend Bobby H. Welch, pastor of the First Baptist Church in Daytona Beach, Florida, and president of the 16 million member Southern Baptist Convention. Welsh Church was the first in America to introduce the significant military concept of, personal quote, force multiplier into the churches. In fact, Welch and his associate, Pastor Doug Williams, coined the words, personal quote, faith force multiplier and kingdom warriors, conjuring up imagery of soldiers fighting for God's kingdom. The same concept was used by Boykin in his message to the churches. When Bobby Welch spearheaded a drive in, let me say it again, this is very small writing. When Bobby Welch spearheaded a drive to insert military concepts into the Southern Baptist Church, I read that pretty good, let me say it again. When Bobby Welch spearheaded a drive to insert military concepts into the Southern Baptist churches, he had the backing of an enormously wealthy corporation. He was flown over 1 million miles, crisscrossing America, to get his message across to churches. Yet, his message is essentially a secret known only to the Southern Baptists and Pentecostals recruited into the program, which now numbered more than 6,000 churches. Stop. According to the Department of Defense, the official website, under Force Multiplier. Quote, a capability that, when added to and employed by a combat force, significantly increases the combat potential of that force and thus enhances the probability of success. Thus, let me say it again. This writing is so small, I got my glasses on. A capability that, when added to and employed by a combat force, significantly increases the combat potential of that force and thus enhances the probability of successful missions accomplished. That's it. Example. Wow. Did you hear that? And when you add what Time magazine said about Mr. Rick Warren, quote, Mr. Warren describes himself as, personal quote, being a stealth evangelist, and describes his training programs with an S as, personal quote, a stealth movement that's flying beneath the radar, that's changing literally hundreds, even thousands of churches around the world. When you add that ominous fact into the equation, it would only be prudent to find out the unfunky possibilities of what type of black ops military technology their operatives are perfecting. It said that the fish rots from the head down, so it would only be prudent to follow our noses to sniff out General Boykin for more clues. Check it out.